quantitative reasoning involving squares and square roots of numbers.
There are things you have to consider when you're solving your quantitative reasoning. They include addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. The multiplication is otherwise known to be product. The division is known to be quotient. The subtraction is otherwise known to be difference. And your addition is known to be sum. And you also have to consider your square and square root where necessary. And all these have their opposites. If you added a number to a particular value, to take it out, you do a subtraction. If you subtracted, you add to get it back. And then if you multiplied, the opposite of multiplication is division. And then if you took a square of a number, the opposite is the square root of the number. So you have to take note of those. Okay, let's quickly look at this. If you notice, you see that 9 is here, and then the square of 9 is 81. Remember, 9 square, or raised to the power of 2, is 9 times 9, which is what? 81. That's how 81 came about. So in order to have 9, remember, we took a square of 9 to have this. So the opposite of square is square root. So we take the square root of 81 to have backward 9. So that means if 9 is missing, you take the square root of this to have 9. If 81 is missing, you take the square to have this. Okay, let's check the same position here. So we have 8 here. Remember, to have 64, you have your 8 square, which is 8 times 8, giving you what? 64. To have back your 8, you take the square root of this. The square root of 64 is 8. The same thing is applicable here. 12 squares, 12 times 12, which is 144. In order to have back your 12, you take the square root of 144 to have back your 12. Okay, now let's check. There's another way of having our 9. Okay, you can now as well multiply this by this. Multiply this by this. Let's try that to see. You have 24 times 3 over 8. Okay, this is all over 1. 8 divided by 1. 8 divided 24 is 3. So you have your 3 times 3 to give you what? 9. Okay, so that means, remember, your opposite of multiplication is division. So if we multiply this by this to have 9, so if this is missing, is 9 divided by 24. Let's test that to see 9 divided by 24. So you have it written in vertical form. You have 9 over 24. 3 divided 9 is 3. 3 divides 24 is 8. You see, we are having back this. It's the same as this. So if 24 is missing, you divide 9 by 3 over 8. So you have 9 divided by 3 over 8. Reciprocate your division sign to have multiplication. So you have 9 times your 8 goes up while your 3 comes down. That's reciprocation. 3 divided itself. 1 divides 9 is 3. So 3 times 8, your 3 times 8 is the 24. You have, if this is missing, you divide this by this to have this. If this is missing, you divide this by this to have that. Okay, that is also applicable here. So now let's look at how to find these missing numbers. Now look at this together. Remember that to have here, you take the square of this. So we have a 20 square is 20 times 20. Remember, when you multiply numbers that end to 0, you take the whole ones here. So you have your 2 times 2 to be 4, and then you bring down the 2 zeros. Good. So our missing number here is 400. Okay, and over here, if here is missing, you have to take the square root of this, or you multiply this by this. So either way will still give you the same thing. If you say 1 times 0 is 0, remember, when multiplying any number by 0 is 0 all the time. Our answer here is 0. Now let's look at this quickly. If you have this missing, what do? You take the square of this. So when taking the square of this, you have to take 6, 1 over 2, raised to the power of 2. Before doing this, you have to change it to improper fraction. So 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. All over word 2. Now raise it to the power of 2. So 13 squared is 13 times 13. If you do your multiplication properly, you have 169 there. All over 4. Good. So if you have that all over 4, you can know that this is your answer, 169 all over 4.